Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Haven't uploaded any content here in quite a while. Just took some time off. It's the holidays, work, life, family, things get in the way, and I do this for fun. This is my hobby. So sometimes you sacrifice time, etc. Anyway, let's get on with it. Uh, I've been doing some upgrading on the channel as far as my methods, my equipment, etc. So we're hoping to start churning out better quality content, and specifically, I'm going to be doing a lot more live streaming and broadcasting gameplay instead of doing so much of the commentary work like I have been. I'm still going to do this as far as instructional and also some opinion pieces, etc. But going forward, we're going to be doing a lot more live broadcasting and actual gameplay as it's happening and commenting on it that way. Since Modern Warfare 3, I have played very little, if any, DMZ. I know there was the big debate and waiting for the announcements on Season 1 on the status of DMZ. In my opinion, and then again, this is my opinion, DMZ is dead. The reason I say that is because, you can still play it, you can still load it up, and you can still have fun, and those things are great, but updates and support are really the lifeblood of this kind of a game. And with them announcing that they're not really going to be focusing too much on that, it it does take some of the meaning away from it. And yeah, you can still load it up, you can still have fun, and I do intend to play it. But to be honest, it is kind of a pointless or a fruitless adventure, I would guess you would say, to be fancy. So in going forward, you're going to see a lot more of the multiplayer in Modern Warfare 3 and a whole lot of the zombies content coming from me and much less DMZ. Maybe occasionally we will go back to it, but we're going to be going forward just as the game is going forward. So I'm going to give you guys some opinions on what I think they've done here and what I like and dislike, and let's get to it. Let's jump into the stats tab here real quick, get an idea of the time I put into the game. So far, multiplayer, I've only played about a day. Point .9's on my KD and wins, so we need to do some more work on that, but there was a learning curve going on. In Zombies, we've got almost a full week, 7 days worth of playtime. Uh, and I have to say, I have been having fun, and that is the key. I wasn't sure about this game mode, but so far I'm liking it and I am enjoying my time. So there you go, that's where we're coming from. And now let's take a look at some of the changes, additions, and the setup they have and what my thoughts are on that as far as how they have zombies set up to run. Okay, just want to cycle through the tabs up here and go through some of the way they have things set up and give you my opinion on what it is. As far as weapons go, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but in my opinion, it seems everything from Modern Warfare 3 is far stronger than anything they imported over from Modern Warfare 2. And I try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I think there's a reason for that they're pushing more towards the new items. But I do like the addition of this field upgrade, the field equipment, sorry. The energy mines, the frenzied guard, Tesla storm, etc. I like how these different things they have a purpose, and depending on what you're doing and how your playstyle is, this purpose either works well or doesn't. For instance, the healing aura is great. Allows you to pick up teammates without having to go over there and stick them with the self, or the revive, or the stim, or anything. But that's not going to help you out too much if you're playing solo. Whereas Ether Shroud allows you to hide, so the zombies don't see you anymore. But if you're playing in a team, that's going to be kind of annoying if you're constantly hiding from the enemy and letting your teammates deal with everything and all the aggro. And then you have ones like Tesla Storm, which work no matter what, either when you're in a group or when you're solo. So I like the fact that this item, you can tailor it to what you're trying to do, how you're playing, and the play style that you have. So I'd like to see more options. I don't know what you would put in here, but personally, I would like to see some more options. But I do like the way that went, and thumbs up on that one, guys. changing the backpack from a rucksack, whatever. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same as we're used to. Now let's talk about this strike team tab and the fact that there's only 3 operators. I thought with season 1 starting that maybe they'd add more operator slots because you remember back in DMZ, I used to run with 10 operators, and I had specific situations where, most of my operators I would run with a stealth vest. Some had a comm vest. Sometimes I'd have a scavenger backpack. Some would have a secure. And this allowed me to pick and choose. I had an operator specifically designed for a task. If I need to go in and grab a bunch of items, well, that scavenger backpack's great. If I needed to try to duplicate items for extract, I could put them in the secure backpack and take them from round to round. Looking at zombies, there's really no reason for that. And just look across this tab here. The only thing that really can change or changes a value is going to be your kill streak. And everything else, you just want it to be the best or the strongest. I don't know that they can implement different types of vests and different types of, what's a comms vest going to tell you there's zombies around or there's mercenaries? You can mostly see them. You don't have to worry about other players, so there's no reason to hide. I don't know that there's any reason to go beyond the 3, but it does kind of inhibit your creativity. So, what are all these operators that I've got through purchases of bundles or battle pass or anything like that? What am I going to do with them? I mean, I have to lose all my equipment if, in the case that I die, maybe I don't. But it's what's the motivation of having all this different stuff if I can only use 3? But do I need more than 3? And that, I guess, is really the question that you have to ask is there a reason to have more than just the 3 operators? So maybe that's something they're going to address. Maybe that's not. Who knows? I guess we'll see in the future. The battle pass is the battle pass, whatever. Yes, you get some new guns and you get some unlocks and you get money and coins and stuff, but really hasn't changed as far as I can see. And I guess if I was Warzone player more, maybe the changing of the operators and all these extra skins that you can get somewhat plays up in multiplayer. But I found that in multiplayer you need kind of the drabbest looking guy. Anything that you have that stands out really stands out. So whatever. I love these weekly challenges, or at least the idea of them. These events and the constant changing of the events is nice. Currently, we're doing the Dune Trial of Power event. There's 4 days left. If I have an argument against these, it's that they're just a little too easy. And by easy, I mean the only thing you have to do is play the game. It's based completely off of XP, so every event that's come up so far, I've been able to do pretty quick just by playing the game. I wasn't doing anything special. But it is a weekly thing. They pop them out. There's been several so far, so I don't know what I would expect from it or what I would ask from it. But it just seems like basing it off of XP is a little too generic. Maybe flesh that out more. We'll see what happens with Santa's Slayground here that's starting in 4 days. Throwing snowballs and catching trees and zombie deer. Yeah, I guess we'll see. But these events, it's a nice addition, but it just needs to be fleshed out a little more. But I do like this, the weekly challenges, simply because it's given me something to do. It gives me a reason to go in, even if I'm not trying to finish off a mission or just helping somebody else out. There's still something I can do. But, you look at this, it's like drink 10 Coca-Cola cans. Come on, guys. You got to be a little more advanced than that. But overall, this is spreading me out, making me do different weapons, getting things with Pack-a-Punch. That's kind of generic, just the 250, 250, 250. But you do unlock if you complete any 5, which is nice, so I don't have to do them all. But you can unlock different attachments. Whether they're good attachments or not, that remains to be seen. And that's definitely a personal opinion type thing. But this is a good idea. I like this. I like the fact that they're just giving you something to do and that they split it up between multiplayer Zombies, and Battle Royale. So it's a challenge that, depending on what you want to do or what type you play, then you get to complete it the way you want to, which is always good. Anytime they want to give you options, I'm all for it. But I'd like to see them put a little more fleshing out. So let's talk here about the challenges, which I like the way this tab is laid out, giving you your weekly, your daily, your unlocks, weapons, etc. Let's take a look here into the calling cards. As you know, I'm a big fan of doing all the different calling cards. So this looks exactly the same as we're used to, where you have your Call of Duty, your Modern Warfare, your Zombies. Up at the top, you've got your games, Prestige, your premiums, whatever. But the fact that, again, they have certain ones split up between, you have your shared, but then you have your Zombies and your Warzone. So basically you have something to shoot for depending on the game mode that you prefer to go. I have not really paid attention to these calling cards. I've just been actually playing. There are a couple things I saw that, hey, let me try this. But for the most part, this is all just standard gameplay. I've completed 2. I'm almost done with 2 more, and everything else is at least halfway done. So apparently we're doing good. Happy about that. But I will have some videos coming out when we do some of the harder challenges that you can't complete just doing gameplay. And if you look through there, you'll see some of those. One that stands out for me is to defeat a warlord within the first 7 minutes. That's going to be tight. But anyway, I like the fact that in Prestige, you can Prestige in Zombies and you can Prestige in multiplayer. So it's nice that they spread that out so that you don't have to do something you don't particularly want to do in order to complete these. But one thing I'm not certain about, and you'll see it here in just a second, is why they put in a tier system. Like you notice there on those tags it says tier 1 for this, to 10 operators with throwing knives, and you got to kill 10. But then if you cycle through, you've got a tier 2 and a tier 3, which now, you got to kill 25, and then you got to kill 50. So you just got to kill 50. I guess they do that to give you that mirage of progression. You notice that Zombies doesn't have any of the tiering. It's all tier 1. So they just go straight out of the gate with that, with, kill 25 manglers using napalm burst instead of doing the 10, 20, 25, whatever. But, yeah, it makes it look like you're progressing or that you have multiple steps. But to be honest, in my view, when I look at this, I just look to see what the tier 3 achievement is, and that's the goal. That's the end goal, because you don't unlock the Prestige Mastery until you've completed tier 3 in each one of these calling cards. So my advice to you would be to look at what the task is and then just see what tier 3 requires, and then that's the goal. Jump in there, customize, set up your operator to do that, and I don't know. I understand why they did it, but I just question what the overall effect is and whether or not that works. For me, it doesn't. Like I said, I understand why they did it, and yeah, there is some value into a progression system where you can see, okay, I completed tier 1, now I'm on to tier 2. Okay, I mean, for me personally, the end result is always going to be whatever the tier 3 requirement is. And once I've unlocked access to a Prestige, I'm just going to keep going until that one's knocked out. But overall, the spreading out between game modes, the multiple versions, the fact that you can get it in one game mode versus the other, I think that's a win. And I'm honestly, pretty excited about that aspect. So good job on that, guys. So at first, with the armory unlocks, I thought that was really cool, and here's something to work forward to. I didn't automatically have access to certain field upgrades or pieces of equipment or weapon attachments, And that initial bulk drop when the game first started, was a monumental task, and here's a bunch of stuff to go through. But completing missions, doing contracts, getting through it, I have been able to power through most of this stuff. With the Season 1 release, they added a couple more things, but I didn't really even notice it, didn't pay attention to it, and was able to just clear through those. And now I'm on the final ones that just had the big totals. So I'm hoping in further seasons we can see more types of things released that give us something to work for on this. It was a good idea, and I do agree with it. Thumbs up on this, but I've been able to get through it a little too quickly. And maybe the complete contracts to get the infinite one, maybe they should have removed that in order to stretch this out a little more. Don't know, but we'll have to see how it goes. So having the story missions over here in this section was also an interesting addition. Um, at first it reminded me of like some of the DMZ early missions where you would start out and your first mission was to ping a contract, complete it, and etc. So this whole Act 1 was just here's the things that are in the game. Get used to using them by having to complete some type of activity with it, and that was good. That was nice. I liked that. It gave me some familiarity with the different things. But we moved to Act 2, and it did get a little bit harder, but they still pumped in a few silly ones that were really easy to complete. Act 3, they did kind of step up their game there, and that they got progressively harder. And I liked this idea, and I was excited to see what they put in Act 4. And so far, it's just been this single mission. So I'm hoping with future updates that they expand on this a little more, and not just do it in a ridiculous fashion where it's the same things we've already done, just a higher quantity. But it was nice to get into a match and say, okay, what's the next story mission? What's the next act mission that I need to do in order to progress further in the game? Which, again, great idea. Like it. I just hope they do more with it than they did here with Act 4. And it is still early in the season, so maybe I shouldn't be too hard on them. It's something that possibly they're going to have. We'll have to see. So there you have it. That's just a quick overview and some of my opinions on the way things are and how they've got it set up and the directions we're going in. Am I having fun with this? Yes. And that is the only thing that really matters. If you're not enjoying your time playing, if it's boring to you, if you don't like the things that they're pointing to and the directions they're going, then it's not going to be something that you're going to have fun doing. And that's all that really matters. If you're not having fun, there's no point in doing this. Currently, I am having fun. I would have to say that I'm enjoying this a little more than I am in my time in DMZ, just because I feel like I've got more control over what's going on. As I had said earlier, if I want to specifically do camos, I can go in and I don't have to worry about anybody messing with me. I don't have to worry about progressing on anything. It's just me. I'm going to go in, I'm going to stay in the gray area, do whatever. If I need to get disciple kills, then I can just hop on into the orange zone, go find some of those, some of the special ones. It's that level of control that I'm enjoying, and that's what's fun to me. Just some mindless activity and something to do. So there you go, guys. Look forward to doing more content, doing some live broadcasts, and hope to see you out there. If you enjoy this kind of videos, please give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care.